this episode of the Inspiration Road, which is brought to you by myself, Thomas Malonda, and
Rogers Care. And if you have not, please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Inspiration Road, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And also you can listen to the audio version of the podcast. If you're an Android user, go to Google Podcasts, or if you're an iPhone user, go to Apple Podcasts.
So today we bring you yet another interesting gentleman who is a self-made person. So we're here to get to know what self-made means in the interview, but he's a human resource consultant. He's an expert in the career world, stemming from nursery school teaching, primary school teaching, secondary up to university. And he spent a number of years in the HR, which is human resource consultancy in Uganda and outside of Uganda. So allow me to welcome Mr. Moses Musaasizi on the show.
Thank you very much.
So, Mr. Moses, we live in an era where millennials are baffled with what's happening. And this is as a result of the high unemployment rate, which it's global, but let's start with Uganda. So when you talk to millennials, ask them, what do you think? Like, why do you think you're unemployed? They'll point out the government, they'll point out the politicians. So they have different reasons. The parents will say, my kids, you're to blame for not being employed. The kids will say, Dad, it's you. It's the course. So where does this mindset come from, and how can we overcome it?
Well, thank you very much. The mindset comes from school. The mindset comes from the history that we have. The mindset comes from what we believe in. Time memorial, parents wanted to choose courses for their children because they think those are the courses that may be lucrative when they come to the job world. As time went on, parents have not got to understand that what made them succeed is not what can make the child succeed, because they are in different eras. You get it?
Yes.
And the education system compels us in one direction. It does not tickle us to be self-thinking, making our way, making a meaning out of the world. It has failed that way. I'm looking at the millennials that you're talking about, who have the internet, who are having, we used to have gardens and the jobs are on.
Yes.
Now there is internet, which has a garden, which has a job, which has everything. You get it? It is only helping them to understand that the problem is not their parents, not their government. The problem is them themselves not coming out to think positively about what is happening around them and making a meaning out of them.
Actually, on that very note, now that you've talked about the millennials having the mindset being the problem, how can a person who is at school right now be able to put himself in a position, himself or herself in a position where when they graduate, they can be employable?
Basically, I'm not looking at only one area of being employable. How can they make a meaning out of the world is the word that I want to make.
Better.
One, you can make a meaning out of the world by identifying the problems in the world, in your community, in your home, and getting a solution to those problems. If you get a solution to the problems in your community, your house, your country, you are making your own job. You get it?
Yeah.
Number two, when you go on the side of employability, if you want to get employed, be different from those who are looking for the same job you are looking for. Be exceptional. If you want to be employed, there is one thing that I want somebody to be. Be contributive to where you're going to be employed. Can you really contribute something? Can you make a difference? That's why the old CVs were saying, working experience, I worked here as this, I worked here as this, I worked here as this. Today we don't want that. I want to hear, I worked here as this and made this significant change or input or addition to that particular company. That's what I'm looking at. It is not simply working. It is adding content to where you're working from. It is adding value. I get it. So they should not leave school knowing they are going to get a job where they are going to sit, swing their legs, do this. They should know they are going to get a job where they are going to contribute significantly to that company.
Like you said, add value to the company.
Add value to the company. Come with that idea, adding value to the company. Because as you add value to the company, you are adding value to yourself. These days there is what is trending called job entrepreneurship. On your job, you can be an entrepreneur.
Wow.
You get it? On your job, you can be an entrepreneur. Somebody can identify you as the best, with the best skills, and those skills can start earning you on that job extra mile compared to others in the same docket of your employability. Can I give you an example?
Sure.
2 people qualified as human resource managers. They all went to the different companies to start working. One reached there and asked the boss, "Boss, we don't have an HR manual. Can we get one?" Yes, he went ahead and said, "Boss, we don't have an HR handbook, but I know people who can make it for us. So we can pay them." Are you getting me? This man is sending away money from him. And the second one would say, "Boss, that we don't have an HR handbook here and for the employees and an HR manual. Can you please allow me, I develop it for a company?" Where I see it developed in other areas, they pay 7 million for the task. But I'm going to do it. I want to tell you, 3 months after completion of that man will get his salary, but there will be some 3.5 millions coming from the contribution he added to the grant. So have you seen the difference?
Yeah.
Yes, true.
So, talking about people coming from universities, I remember when I was graduating back then in 2017 from Macquarie, this statement was made in that speech then, but I still hear, and I heard that Macquarie this year has its graduation in May, I think between 10th and 15th, and I predict that this statement is going to be said again. So graduates are always told that go and be job creators, not job seekers. But these are people who have been in school, they've never been told how this is done. The only thing they are told is get good grades. When you get a 90, that's it. How are you going to get a 90? Go cram what is in the book, come put on a paper. Exactly. Regurgitate what you've gotten from the book, put on paper, you're successful. You've gotten first class, second upper. Then on graduation day, they tell them, go and be a job creator. When they reach in the world, actually a friend one time was telling me that they don't want first class students because they noticed that they are theoretical but not practical. But going back to that statement, you as a person who is experienced in this field, do you find it viable? And if at all it's not, I don't know what you think, but wherever you fall, how do you think millennials should be advised as they're coming out to the world?
I would tell them one thing. There is no free lunch.
Can you expound on that?
Well, you're telling them to go and create jobs. But some don't know why they should create jobs. The father and mother has everything. There are those whom you are telling go create jobs, and they don't know how to create jobs. But there is one thing that will teach all the three I have mentioned, is there is no free lunch. The problems they face will enable them become either good entrepreneurs to create jobs, or good employees. Are you getting me? Or people who move around useless to the state. It is the problems that you face. Actually, I want to emphasize that the problems we get in the world are ingredients to success. Why did I say there is no free lunch? Because everybody wants to eat. You miss meals twice, you'll go and look for meals. What is forcing you out of your house to go and look for meals? Are you getting me? Will force you make your own. How a yellow banana seller mitigates his living. How a pancake maker mitigates his. How it is the problem that you face that will teach you how to jump out of it and then be able to do whatever. It's necessary for you to move. However, as we are training our people there, the training should also change. The training should be enabling these people to go to the communities and solve the problems of the community. If you were a social worker and in the area where you are, very many girls are getting pregnant and what, why doesn't the university send you as a group to go and see how you handle the problem in the community while you are at school? Because majorly, I want to tell you one thing. What employability does is one. You come and help the entrepreneur to solve the problem that he has failed to solve alone. We are in our workplaces to solve problems. You get it? We are in our workplaces to bridge gaps. It is what must be told to those people. They are not coming for luxury. They are coming to identify a problem and bridge the gap. HRs usually identify the problem that maybe this accountant needs another helper to see that he can beat the time and target. Are you getting me? So you are coming to solve that problem. When we recruit you, we need you to bridge that gap. So millennials that are living understand that the world has several problems to solve. Identify one, solve it, the world will follow you.
So you hinted on problems, and before we came and said there is a theory, the Bedbug theory, which you mentioned. I would love for you to bring that out in relation to problems, because I think that will help the millennials watching us today to know how best to handle problems.
And then also, I also have issues with that. You know, sometime back we had Ambrose Chibuka right here, and he talked about the fact that something you've said, that if you are going and looking for a job, you need to make sure that the person employing you should need you.
That is.
Yes. Very good advice. Yes. Except for one thing. It is very theoretical. Like, you need someone to be able to have a mindset that beats the existing kind of layer. Because I tell you that not so many students who come across who are able to think outside the box and be able to approach the employment world with a solution. They always go with a problem. I need money.
And begin.
It'll break. It'll break.
Okay, please.
It'll break.
So we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Kati era ngenda kuddamu owakulisa okuva mu break ayogera ensonga ye.
This is nice, guys.
Welcome back from that short break. We continue to get insights from Mr. Musaasizi.
Oh yeah. At the end, before we went to break, I had some two burning issues. One was the Bedbug theory, which I am going to synthesize in a while. But there is also this problem that people leave university when their major problem is money.
In other words, they approach the market with a need.
With a need,
Not a solution.
Not a solution.
Yes.
That's the major problem that we are having here. You must know that to get what you want, you must have solved the problem of another person. That should be in your head wherever you go.
It's actually the universal law.
It's a universal law. If my car has a problem, who will sort it has money from me. You get it?
Yeah.
So you must know that you coming out as a problem solver in order to get what you want. Because as you solve the problem, you're getting what you're wanting. You'll get money automatically. Now, this Bedbug theory. The Bedbug theory focuses on a need. A bedbug needs a meal a day. Its meal comes from the human being. Once upon a time, the human being was sleeping on the ground. It was so simple for the bedbug to come and suck blood from the human being. He would roll over, but the bedbug is looking for blood. It won't go. When it found, when the human being found that he tired of being beaten by the bedbugs, he made a bed. He was solving his problem of being beaten by the bedbug. But the bedbug had the major problem of looking for food. So for it to continue focusing on looking for food, what did it do? It climbed to the bed and found him there and took supper. You get it? Then later, what happened was when the man found was beaten several times, again on his bed, he got another method of solving the problem. He got a bucket of water and put at every pole of the bed. Because he understood that bedbugs cannot cross water. Indeed, bedbugs couldn't cross water. But bedbugs had their common need. What is it? Food. What did they do? When they failed to climb the bed, they climbed the wall up to the ceiling and fell on the bed again to get food. If a bedbug, brainless insect, no arms, no education, no nothing, can always solve its problem without complaining, why do you want to solve your problem by complaining? Never complain. Find a solution to the problem before you. The world will run towards you.
Interesting. Very good piece of advice that I believe our viewers are taking in with a grain of salt. Now, talking about, Les Brown talked about, he has a video, it's called Stay Hungry. So whatever I do, be hungry. Make sure you're hungry enough to get it. Now, still comparing employability to entrepreneurship as a millennial. So let's say now we are focusing on a millennial who is going to start up a business. Ambrose Chibuka, in his book of After University What Next, states that youth entrepreneurship, the future of youth entrepreneurship is in collaboration. So that is one tip of the many tips. So I would love that you give more tips to our millennials who are watching or who want to become entrepreneurs on how they are going to thrive and the mindset they should have, how to form good partnerships.
One, the greatest challenge with our youth entrepreneurs is answering success question papers of others other than theirs. They lack originality. They do copycats. Somebody put a butcher there, I put a butcher. Somebody put a studio here, I put a studio. They don't start businesses to solve problems. They start businesses because others have started them that way. Any business that can be successful must be solving a problem in that particular community where it is. You get it? If you find that this place is waterlogged, every route going down has a problem of clogging all the time, make culverts. Because many people would buy culverts in that one. If you find that you are near estates, these Jomai estates, for example, and others, I get a new one. The problem that will be there will be a problem of getting sand and bricks. Yourself solve a problem the simplest way you can. Do whatever you need to do when you know it must be done. Can I continue?
Can you expound on that?
Why do you need an office when you can have an office on Facebook with a new trend? Why do you need a restaurant space when you can deliver on a bike? You do it at your home and you are selling on Facebook and WhatsApp.
Why do you need a store yet you can sell your clothes on Facebook?
On Facebook. Young people, the trend is that there are new things coming. Utilize the technology, utilize the things around you, and solve the problem of others in order to succeed.
Actually, on that very point, still, on a very good interview we had here with Ambrose, actually in his book, he also states it, and he says that the greatest gift to the 21st century is the internet.
Yes.
So, I know for us you're also utilizing it right now to impact the world, which is a very good thing. Now, there are millennials out there who are still skeptical about using the internet, for whatever reason they have. I would love that you re-emphasize that point of using the internet to solve problems.
Internet has come and will not go away. We should grow knowing that one time a man constructed a house, and because the rest were staying in the jungle, they were skeptical, they would be killed in the house inside there. I get it.
Yeah.
The house which even has a door and a key, we all pile ourselves there. What if they come to kill us? They'll kill all of us. I get it. Let's remain in our forests. When something shouts, we run. I get it.
We scatter.
So under such circumstance, running away from internet is running away from what an animal that has already invaded. We just need to learn how to use it well and profitably to make a success out of it. It is not going back.
Very true.
Well,
So there's something called the gig economy that they believe that we have entered in right now. And still on that very point of the internet, it is very, very possible for someone to be formally employed from 9 to 5, but still have a separate gig on the internet, let's say being a PR, being able to market things online. Yes. So what is your take on the gig economy as we speak right now?
I see it as something that is going to help people earn a living besides their former jobs. But I also see it going to be a challenge to human resource managers to fully utilize the human resource. Because the internet you are giving your PR, the internet you are giving your officer is the internet he's using to do side business. And in doing it, he's also taking your time and other resources. And time in investment is the greatest thing. A person who has more hours in a day is the most richest. Did you know not all people have 24 hours a day? Some have 1,000 hours, others have 10,000 hours a day. So with gig, you may find that people are consuming your time, your internet, and others.
I'm interested in finding out their 1,000 hours, where do they come from? I think I'm not getting
Sometimes people used to say time is money, and people thought in saying time is money, we are meaning being time conscious, but not as such. Time consciousness is important, but what we mean with time is money is who has more time on earth has more money. For example, I have my 8 hours every day, but I am I'm renting another 8 hours of another person. If I'm having 100 workers, I'm renting 800 hours. Are you getting me? So I'm having 808 hours a day, when the other one is having only 24 hours a day. So I will be more rich than one who has few hours in a day. Yes. It is basically what we mean by time is money.
Interesting. So building on the concept of, internet, like this is the internet age, and everybody should utilize the internet. A recent study by a company called McKinsey and Company does market research showed that post-COVID, the rate of automation, rate of working from home, rate of e-commerce is growing so much.
It's not just growing, it's overgrowing.
Yes. Like it's so drastic. The curve is drastic instead of going gradual. I think. So with that, that's all happening. How can the millennials that are coming out, because unfortunately they are still being taught in the old way. Because I can give you an example. Personally, I'm currently doing my master's, but we've struggled to be able to complete some modules because of the internet, because people are still getting used to teaching online.
Especially the teachers.
Exactly. But also some students, they struggle, they get on, they get off.
I see it with my son.
Exactly. So
He's
like
now a great director of a big university.
So with these things changing in the market world, people are letting off workers. People have noticed that actually they don't need offices to operate. Workers can work from home and you do your work so well. So, but graduates are coming out. Just like I mentioned, Makere is going to release a batch. UC is going to release. And this does not only stop in Uganda, even other universities worldwide are releasing. So what should millennials do at this time? So I'm assuming you've already finished your course, but now you're waiting for graduation, and this is what is happening. Automation, high rate. E-commerce, high rate. So what can they do?
I'm happy with what is happening because you are taking it as a problem. And in taking it as a problem, why don't we have youngsters who come out to champion and solve that problem? 1,000 people who don't know how to use internet and are getting out, are getting me. I'm going to tell my boy to set up somewhere where he will train them to use internet, who are going to create jobs there immediately. You have noted these short courses of Microsoft Word, Office, what. People are recruiting. Are you getting me? So I know this is going to stay, but it is going to stay for a while. It is going to get away. Because even you started your first lesson with a problem. Are you still having that problem?
No.
For a short period of time. There is when the trends are stronger than our human mind. And they are the ones driving us. Under such circumstances, for me, I see, let the youngsters, as they have known that it's the digital world, it's the what, the problem that is there must be solved by somebody who has the skills. Are you getting me? And then they shall also be able to participate in with the entire world in solving other problems using internet. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let's have a short break. Come back from that very short break. Before we left, Mr. Musaasizi was giving us a piece of advice.
Yeah, so building on where we stopped, I would like to, I think millennials watching us today, you've gotten lots of insights that you need to apply. Whether you are leaving school, whether you are at the job, you know what to do to be successful in terms of employability. Whether it's at your current job or the next one you want to go to, whether you want to start a business, you know what to do now. But it would be, not good if at all Mr. has left this show without explaining to me something I always wonder when I hear people using it, and that is self-made. I hear many people saying, I'm a self-made billionaire, self-made millionaire, self-made man. So I would like to know what does that mean, because the first time I reached out to you, you told me I'm a self-made person. What does that mean?
Well, self-made basically means one thing. Defiance from odds. There is what the world has laid for us to go through, this channel of education, this channel of... there is what the world has stated that people should go through. And those things must be gone through by those only who have opportunity to go through them. Others who have privileges are getting it. The underprivileged, those who don't have opportunity to go through them the way they... you may find that you are having a great challenge. What do you need to do? You need to defy the odds. For Moses, if defying odds meant bricklaying and get money, give sugar canes to school-going children to buy notes, and then go back and sit for exams only, it meant that. And it did not stop Moses from having his first degree and his second degree. What does that mean? Self-made, I think, to me, means defying odds, defying standards that were put, defying what was commonly known would produce somebody of character, somebody of what, and say, no, me, I am this. You get it? And you choose the direction. Sometimes we choose the direction when you want, other times we choose the direction because there is no free meals. You
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Ambrose. There's a saying that goes, Mr. Moses, sorry, I keep confusing you. There's a saying that goes that you can never lead anyone any further than you've gone. And so, if there is something that you cannot leave this show without saying, I would love that you package it in the very last words for our viewers.
Well, I have one statement for our viewers. The problems the world has is the opportunity for us to succeed. Get their solution, you will succeed. Thank you.
So it's been a pleasure to have you, Mr. Musaasizi.
Thank you.
But still, before you leave, people would love to get more of these insights you've shared. How can people get to you? Like, is it social media? Is it... Okay, social media is the thing we use now. Like, are you on Facebook? Are you on Instagram? Are you on LinkedIn? Where can people find you?
I am a BBC,
Oh,
Okay.
so you
but
got that
the opportunity these people will have to see me is through guys like you who have identified that I can be of an importance when I share my experiences.
Wow, you've had that. You can only see him through Inspiration Route. So if you haven't, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you go to our YouTube channel. If you haven't followed us on Facebook, Instagram, please do so. And also on all podcast communities, please go and follow us. And we hope to bring him again so that you don't miss out on this. But for today, thank you for watching us. Until next time.